she got two or three cards, that people,
In the mail?
In the mail.
They couldn't come, but
They couldn't come.
But that one lady yesterday we seen, at the post office, Judy German,
I remember her, yeah.
And she said, she'd seen, said, I've got another commitment, but if I can't make it, but it's great, they just.
Well, that just tells you that in 75 years of you just doing what you needed to do, raising a family, earning a living, you made an impact on people. And that's really all you can hope to do.
Right.
That when you have a little party, that people want to come.
Yeah. They can.
We didn't pay them to come.
Well, goddamn, you should have charged. What the hell?
Okay, next time I'll be in charge. Shelley was in charge this time. I'll be in charge next time. But, there were some people that I didn't know. So as they're coming in, I just introduced myself and said, "Who are you?" And,
well, I'll tell you, it's kind of like old John Talbot and old Doc.
Yeah, that old guy, yeah.
Those old,
Those
of course, we've known him forever, the auction deal, and of course, she knew him in the tag sale and whatever,
Well, I was his secretary.
Well, Talbot, but old Doc.
That other guy, yeah, I remember seeing some other guy I didn't know, and I asked Shelley, and it was Doc somebody, you're right, and you forget who you've worked with closely, even though it was maybe decades ago. And you just, they appreciated what you contributed then, and you moved on, but they didn't forget your contribution.
Old John Talbot was always, he was, she was his secretary there at Votech, but
you probably made him the success he is today. Well, undoubtedly.
Well, I kept him out of a lot of trouble.
There you go. That's exactly what it is.
But he was,
He was a tooth.
Well,
And I was trying to think of the other guy that was in there. I really, really liked
Harold
him.
Winburn.
Yeah, Harold. I don't know where he's at.
He passed away.
Yeah, that's right. He did pass away.
Well, and
they were both good guys.
Yeah. Well, and you expect family and your local friends and all that, but it's just extra special when you get a surprise.
Yep.
So we're glad we got to meet some of the people. That Talbot guy knew you before I knew you, so that was good for me. You had a life before me. Oh, really? I guess you did.
Yeah.
So I visited with Sherry and Roger, and had a good time. And I'm so glad Ed and Cora Lee made it safely.
They made it home.
I hope they made it home.
We haven't heard anything different, so I'm saying.
That's right. I saw.
They wasn't going back on the turnpike. They was going to drive 33s.
Well, maybe that's better. I mean, it's littler roads, but less distractions.
God,
You can go 45 better on 33.
Yeah, maybe.
But for them to make that trip.
Well,
that's
the thing that I was about them, the report that was that she fell and broke her hip. Well, usually somebody with a broken hip.
At that age.
Yeah.
Are confined to a bed.
That's the end.
Yeah. But I've seen two people since then. So I guess they've got some new technique that they can get them up and
get them going.
It's
again,
not the death sentence it used to be. Seriously, when anybody elderly would break their hip, that was the end.
Many relatives over here, they said, she had a broken hip, and hell, we was really,
She's at the fair, yeah.
And next thing we know, she's singing in the choir in church.
Yeah.
Amen.
But she didn't even have a cane.
All right.
So
well,
I think that might have been a.
Well, I saw Ed and Corley pull up, so I ran out there and met them on the sidewalk. And Corley gave me her purse, and I helped her in. And she said, "We got to go to the bathroom." So as soon as we got them in, you get hung up at the door with the hello, and we're just pushing through. And I got Harry, and Harry goes, Mom, the bathroom's to the left. And so he got her.
Yeah, and then we stopped. One of your boys.
Yeah.
Will.
Will or.
Oh yeah, he was fixing to go into the bathroom,
Yeah,
and Brent
you
says,
call it back.
That's
Come
right.
back
So
out
he
here.
had to go to the bathroom, and we said, when you get to be 90 years old, you get that privilege, but for now, get out of there. Yeah.
Hell, he'd be 93.
Oh my gosh. Well, that was how I saw Harry the other day, and he goes, I think Ed and Coralie are going to come to the birthday party. And I said, you are kidding me. He goes, no, man. Ed's 92 years old, and he's going to drive.
That's what I was surprised.
Yeah, that's what Vicky.
that
That's what they
scared
come in
me
the other day.
that-
Vicky said, the folks are coming, but said they insisted I'm going to drive.
Well, and I mean,
They can.
although you hear statistically that's a risk, but
Well, Ed, I think, and I still remember, I don't know, a year or so ago when we was over at Larry's, they wasn't near as physically able to not just walk or whatnot, but as far as driving, he said, Coralie just really worries about me driving, it's kind of like Peggy does me driving, but they don't realize that you can put your foot on the brake or whatever, when the car comes over here or this side, they don't,
right.
they can't see it, and he's been driving in all his life, and hell, he's comfortable with it, so,
Right.
but.
And until it becomes an issue, it's not an issue. You got a lot of other things that you are worried about, but
Vision. I mean, his old mind is still just sound as.
oh, absolutely. Well, they recognize me. I mean, as soon as I walked up to them, they called me by name, and so we had quite